Tony, if your bike was a song, what would it be?
I have no idea.
I have no idea either.
Yeah.
Tony's
not
would
good
be
at
The
this.
Space Between by Dave Matthews. I can do this for him.
I have no idea. You motherfuckers just damn the jokes. Damn the jokes.
Poke, poke, poke. I don't know why that's so perfect.
Welcome back to the Five Dirty Bikers podcast.
Presented by Memphis Shades, the clear choice for custom windshields and fairings for your motorcycle. And Wild Ass Seats, stay in the saddle longer and in total comfort no matter your butt or budget.
Everybody, welcome back. Episode 149. That's right, just one away from the old 150. Today we're joined by a special guest. She is a listener of the podcast, female rider, moto camper, does many other things in the moto community. Audrey Hurley, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
So, before we get started on today's kind of topic, a little background. Audrey's been listening to us for a while, and we had an episode out about women riders, current happenings, what we see, what we'd like to see. Audrey had some good input in our DM, and she wanted to share that with us. We thought, what better way to do that than on this show? So that's why we have her on today. So Audrey, could you give the audience a little bit of a background about your motorcycle history?
So I've been riding I have about 4 years of riding experience, 5 total, but there was 1 year I was off the bike because I was hit and my bike was down. But I would say I average about 13 to 15,000 miles per year.
God damn.
I started off on a Nightster, a 1200 Sporty, and currently I'm on a 2020 Lowrider S Softail. And love camping, just love getting out there. Like the road has taught me so much, and I'm just so much more of a peaceful, purposeful, confident person since I found riding. It's amazing.
But you're riding in Southern California, right?
Yes, I'm in San Diego County. Yeah.
Right. So that's like 17 years of riding for everyone else. So, if you ride in California, you can add on for every mile you ride in California, you can add 5 miles on to anywhere else in the country. Because it's like, every rider on the road is trying to kill you. And there's, 3/4 of the United States population lives in California.
So it's like riding in dog years.
Yeah, exactly. It's like riding in dog years. Exactly
For
right.
every mile she does, it's like for every mile we do, it's 7.
Audrey's been riding her motorcycle for 42 years, everyone. just so we get that straight.
Everybody, Audrey has been featured on a couple of media outlets online here lately. You have Fast Bays, where she was featured in the Rider Spotlight, and also on Get Bit Moto. So congrats on those. Those were pretty cool media outlets to get featured on.
Yeah, great opportunity. Love everything that Fast Babes is doing for the moto community, and Get Bent does a lot of features on really amazing, cool builds. But he used his platform to do feature on women riders, and it's more like their rider stories, right? So it's not so much like the builds of their bike. It's kind of like, their story and what they do on the bike. And it's really cool because I've watched all of them, and it's like the stories are all different, but the themes are all like almost exactly the same. So it really makes you feel connected, and you you have this family like anywhere you go.
Sure.
What does the motor company need to do to attract more people, more women riders, more younger riders? Because, let's face it, their number one demographic is middle-aged men with beards. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, all 4 of us here, except for Brittany there. So what's your opinion
She's
on
working
that?
on her beard.
Yeah, she's working on that. It's coming in a little thin. That's a winter beard. We got some Rogaine coming to help her out with that.
And speak for yourself. I'm not middle-aged.
There you go.
So.
I like that.
Yeah. Percy's not middle-aged. He's just old.
I said, yeah.
God damn, Ryan.
No, that's it. I love that question because That's one of the, I don't know if I'm the first one to have the idea, or that's something that I wanted to share, was that what I think that Harley Davidson could do is, I feel like they could create like a mentorship program of women riders who have more experience, and they provide some sort of incentives for them to take women. I'm sure they're going to need to have their standards too. We want you to ride this many miles per year with these new riders. And then also, of course, create incentives for the new riders. And hopefully then they would stay with Harley, right? And would upgrade their bikes and keep, and any of the motor companies could do this. Indian could do it.
Fuck Indian.
I mean, any big brand could create a mentorship for women riders to take on less experienced riders and hook them up with the local leaders chapters and show them where all the good rides are, and help them create paths in their area. So like, that's what someone did for me. So around my home, when I would have time, when I was learning to ride, sometimes I wouldn't have, all weekend to ride or whatever, because I worked a lot of weekends, but I knew I had to ride consistently and all the time. So sometimes I would only have like 45 minutes. So like, if you had a friend who could like pull up maps and like create like a couple rides just around your home that they could go and do on their own, that were easy rides, like how amazing would that be? Because you can't always wait around for there to be a group ride. Like, you have to get out and do it on your own, and you have to do it frequently. So even if you did that same route, I did this one loop in my area. It was like a 45-minute loop, and I did it like multiple times a week for like 3 months straight.
See, I think I just by listening to you talk too, I think you're an exception to the rule when it comes to your experience in motorcycling and the situations that you're talking about, because we even talked about it. I mean, I fit their demographic, and the first time I went into a dealership to buy a motorcycle, I felt like I didn't belong there. Mm-hmm. And I'd been on the back of a Harley since I was 8 years old. But when
he put pants on under his chaps, he was accepted just fine.
Maybe that was the problem. Maybe I shouldn't have bought the chaps first, and maybe I should have had pants on when I went in there.
Yeah.
But I think that you appear to be an exception to the rule, because like, we asked you about your experience. You're like, well, I bought my first bike outside of a dealership, and the second time I went, I already knew what I wanted, so I just like went in and went to the dealer that had my bike, and I just told them that's the bike I wanted. So I think that's a bit of an exception in terms of that. What that looks like. And it's funny listening to you talk about I shouldn't say it's funny, that's not even the right word. It's interesting listening to you talk about how to get more female riders engaged, because I would imagine, I wouldn't even imagine, I think it's absolutely true, there's more female riders probably in California than the rest of the country. And the fact
I think they're definitely they got the highest demographic of women riders in that state than any other state. I think that is a fact.
Yep. And so the idea that you're still bringing up issues that exist still across the country means that the motorcycling industry hasn't got on board with this entire demographic of motorcyclists that are out there ready to ride. And it doesn't, like you said, it doesn't matter, what the dealer is, whether it's Harley or, fuck Indian or, whoever it might be. They're not on board with female riders and the number of female riders out there.
All right, Audrey, now we spoke on the phone a week ago or so in prep for this episode. You have a lot of ideas, and we talked about them, but let's go in here. What do you think could be done better? What could be done new and fresh that would just make this thing take off for ladies?
I'm just so happy to be here, and you guys are asking these questions, so thank you.
Sure.
So I know when you guys did the podcast that was the State of Lady Riders, one of you mentioned that maybe companies are like, well, they're only 20% of the 20-ish% of the population. So like, why would we cater to them? I don't know if cater is the right word, but why would we market to them? Why would we do that? And I kind of thought about what you guys were saying. I think it could go both ways. I could see as our number gets larger, you could also say, well, you're losing out, like glass half empty, half full, right? Like, well, you're losing out on 20% of your sales as well. So, I mean, it's something to think about, especially as we kind of ramp up and have more women riders. But, and then I think about small companies, like I can definitely think about like local small companies, the concern for like, when you're first starting out, like maybe not being able to reach women in the certain way that maybe bigger companies could. But I have a lot of smaller ideas of things that they could do. So like a smaller company wants to be really niche and they want to reach, their population, but it could be something like maybe they have a garage, maybe they do work out of like a garage or something, and quarterly they could host like a women's night in the garage. Maybe whatever this company is, they have a blog, and maybe they could have a quarterly blog featuring a woman rider.
Those are solid. I think a ladies' bike night is fantastic.
I do too.
Yeah,
the garage corner is a good idea too, because if women are riding already and say they don't wrench at all, they could learn. That way, when the time comes where they want to do their own maintenance, they have a breakdown on the side of the road somewhere, they're able to take care of themselves, if they have the means.
I think you've got to
like
do
the
more
garage
than
idea.
events and stuff, though. I mean, if you look at the motorcycle industry, and we all travel, we all stop at dealerships. How many women have you seen that work in sales?
Dude, there's one at
that
Bluegrass
are
Harley that rides the fuck out of a motorcycle.
I know who you're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
She rides better than all of us.
Yeah,
I think there's only one in Lexington.
But that's an exception, right? I mean, it's the entire industry. Where do you see women when you go in to buy motorcycles? Merch or finance?
Motor clothes.
Right, and
Motor
I think
club
that's
and motor
part of the
clothes.
problem, right, Percy? Because it's a really good point. I've always wondered, why aren't there any female salespeople? And I don't know if that's because the companies are placing them in merchandise, or if it's because the females are choosing those roles. You know what I mean?
See, I think that's where they can really start to have a change, is changing their business.
To
To
this
be
is
more inclusive and, across the board.
So let's talk about Harley's motor clothes, since we were there. Are those things stuck in the 80s, or is it just me? Especially for the females. I mean, do you want bedazzled jeans and Hulk Hogan ripped T-shirts?
I like that one. Hulk Hogan ripped.
Brother.
Yeah, brother.
It's hard. I've seen a little improvement since I've been a rider. But it's no.
Yeah, you can't tell me that there are women designing those clothes. Right? Those are like old dudes going, hey, let's dress her up in pretty pink.
right.
How are they not doing like research, or what is it, like focus groups? How are they not doing focus groups with riders?
I think the problem that Harley is in right now is that they're in a transition phase, and they haven't transitioned fully to the next generation because they're still trying to sell motorcycles to 50 and above, right? And so until
Why
they
are you lumping me into this shit, Ryan? I'm over here minding my business.
Because you give them good business every year.
Yeah, Tony, I mean, Audrey just talked about riding 13 to 15,000 miles a year on a motorcycle. Have you owned a motorcycle with 13,000 miles?
No.
Have you made it to the 10,000 mile service on a bike in the last 5 years?
No,
Let me throw this out, Ryan, because
I try not to.
You throw out the age number a lot, and a lot of people do. And it's
Get him, Percy.
the issue
Get that
really isn't about
Baby seal clubbing motherfucker.
the issue really isn't about the age or the number. It's about the fact that they're going after a certain demographic of personality, of perception, yada yada. Right? That
You're right.
That's what the problem is. I mean, we talked about it before. I don't think I'm a typical Harley customer in a
No.
lot of regards.
No, you're not.
With back to the clothes, though, you know why they design the clothes that way? Because they're designing for the little lady that's going to ride on the back of the bike.
Sure.
They're not designing stuff for women as riders. And again, it goes back to this perception that they have.
I was just going to ask, and this is, and please don't take this the wrong way, because I'm just curious about this. Do you think that cultivating women-only events is exclusive, or do you think that's a way to, I know it's the intent is to provide an environment where it's not threatening for new women or women riders to be in, right? Because there can be that idea that a group of guys, a group of testosterone fueled bikers can be threatening. But is there exclusivity around women only events?
I think there have to be those events because I think there are women who maybe have gone through traumatic situations in their lives, or like you said, have some triggers for maybe being around men. That personally for me was not my experience. Again, that first ride that I ever rode to Up, I met like 30 different guys, and I thought biker, like these men were so respectful, and I talked to them about so many different topics. Every single guy was different. So that hasn't been my experience, especially now at my riding point. Like I want more co-ed events, but I also want, it just seems sometimes like, I don't know, I guess I do want more women who are like willing to ride like all the time, anytime, because at least of the group of men that I know, I feel like because I'm a woman, for some reason, like I don't get asked to go out on those group rides with the guys. And it kind of sucks sometimes. And so although there are a bunch of women that I do ride with and I have a great time riding with, like there are only a few, it seems like, who live like right near to me, who are like down to ride every day, all the time. Like, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but like, I feel like there are more guys who it's like that, but they don't ever want to ride with me because I don't know if it's like I'm intruding on their guy time or whatever. I don't know.
I'm glad you brought that up, Ryan, because it's something that kind of, I don't know. It's that I've been thinking about a lot over the last couple of years, because there are a lot of those events. There are a lot of women riders that I follow on YouTube, and I would love to be able to get a chance to meet with them and ride with them and share experiences and learn from them as well. But right now, what your options are, these gatherings where you're not allowed, right, because you're a guy, or these testosterone-filled rallies where women aren't comfortable coming in. There's no kind of middle ground.
Yeah, there is. It's called FDBM.
Well, I was just about to go there, young man, and say that I think that's an opportunity.
Just like a young buck, just too quick.
Yeah, no. I think that's an opportunity for us as a group, and maybe we should put some focus on that for next year's meetup, of reaching out and trying to encourage more women to come to FDBM, and maybe have some content specifically for them that they would be interested to coming and seeing.
We could do this for the entire panel because he says 5 Dirty Bikers. If your bike was a song, which song would it be?
Oh, come on, Volts.
I
Fuck.
have no idea.
Road to Nowhere by the Talking Heads.
Love of a
Ooh,
Lifetime
listen to
by
this guy.
Firehouse.
What's that? Did you say Love of My Life?
Love of a Lifetime by Firehouse, and that's just me being stupid.
I can't
I'm
even
going to have to
come
go
up
look
with
that
one.
up.
Their self-titled album, the '90s fucks. Dude, they were past the hairband stage when it was dying, but it was one of the best cover-to-cover hairband albums of all time, I thought.
I'd have to go with Rocket Man by Elton John.
What?
You can't say that with a 107.
Yes. Hey, none of you fuckers could keep up to me when I got onto the interstate. You all,
That's
Tony was
because
bitching
we
about how
didn't want
fast
to
I
go
was
to
going.
jail. God damn it. We didn't want to go to jail.
You know, in the lower
Okay, wait,
states-
hold on. We need to ask Audrey this question because she lives in the legitimate freeway state. Okay, Audrey, when you are merging onto the freeway, what speed should you be merging onto the freeway at?
The merge? Oh, I don't know. Like, you better at least be going 65, I would think.
Ryan likes to merge at
not,
about 90.
But you would not go 35 miles over the speed limit, correct?
Hey,
Yeah, Ryan had us going 90.
I was being
Ryan
the
had us-
aggressor. I was being the aggressor. That's all I was doing.
You know, in the lower 48 here, we have speed limits.
You're not wrong.
You know, up in South Dakota, they may not exist in North Dakota.
And you know, also
I don't
in the
know where
lower
you're
48,
driving,
when
Tony.
you're leading a group, we try to be more considerate of the people who are following us and not act like an asshole.
No.
I was riding the fuck around and find out route. That's what I was riding,
I hear you.
and you just couldn't keep up.
It was called To Uranus.
Are you following the 5 Dirty Bikers on social media? Find us on Facebook and look us up on Instagram and TikTok at 5 Dirty Bikers.